The following segments are pre-recorded and sponsored by Longworth Productions.
Major funding for Triad Today comes from Blue Cross Blue Shield of North Carolina, making healthcare better for all. Health through food on Triad Today. Hello everyone, I'm Jim Longworth and welcome to another edition of Triad Today, coming to you from the Kernersville Auto Museum. You'll love this place. I'll tell you more about it later on. Later on is when the roundtable shows up and they'll get into all sorts of controversial topics. So stick with us through the entire program. Where we want to start though is talking with some good friends of ours. One who's been on the show many times before. He's on the far right, Hank Henning, of course, manager of local government community relations for Duke Energy, and Hank's special guest, Jeff Sovich, urban sustainability planner, city of Greensboro. And we want to welcome both of you guys today. Good to see you.
Thanks for having us.
Hank, let me start with you. The Duke Energy Foundation awards grants to communities and organizations, which you and I have talked about before. Mm-hmm. But now, which grant are we going to mention today, and why is young Jeff with us?
Yeah, so we put out an RFP for the local environmental impact grant to help our local communities. We were looking for ideas how we can help our partners within some of the local municipalities, and Jeff with the Sustainability Office with the City of Greensboro, they put out a great proposal that we're excited about and look for the volunteer day that we can participate in. And just wanted to invite him on the show with us to talk about it.
All right, now Jeff, what's the mission of the Office of Sustainability and Resilience, and what's your role as a planner?
Okay, well, the Office of Sustainability and Resilience, or OSR as we like to call ourselves, works to bring together a team of experts in 4 key areas. Education and outreach, energy management, environmental compliance and support, and sustainability and resilience planning. And we work together collaboratively with businesses, residents, partner agencies, and other city departments to promote environmental stewardship, enhance social equity, and build community resilience throughout Greensboro.
And toward that end, of course, let's talk about the Duke Energy Foundation grant that you received. And I want to talk about, now correct me if I'm wrong, but there's 2 kind of basic areas that the money is being used for. So let's start first with strictly the environmental aspect. I think something to do with trees?
Sure. We're going to be planting or purchasing about 75 trees with part of the award to plant in underserved and vulnerable areas of the community,
right?
Neighborhoods with low income or disadvantaged populations. Those trees will be planted by volunteers from the community as well as from the Duke Energy Foundation. Those trees will help provide shade, reduce urban heat, enhance energy efficiency, promote planting of edible and native tree species, and enhance food access.
Right, and speaking of energy, I think the other part of that equation there is having to do with helping people in emergencies or shelters or something.
Right. We'll also be using part of the grant award to purchase relief supplies for the warming and cooling centers,
right,
and emergency shelters throughout Greensboro. Supplies to be distributed to unhoused and other vulnerable residents of the community. Things like hats and scarves, lip balm, sunscreen, sunglasses,
little things
fans.
You don't think about that much, but they make a big difference, especially in areas where there's a need like that.
Sure.
To try to protect. Hank, any thoughts on why all this is sort of consistent with the Duke Energy Foundation's mission, your mission as a company, in helping with a grant like this that does the things that Jeff was talking about?
Yeah, well, their proposal was just appealing from both facets. It helps with the beautification of the community and helps our neighborhoods in that way. But also during times of inclement weather, where people really depend on these supplies and these shelters, and we want to get the power back on as quick as we can. But
right,
when there are those bad storms, and people need those resources, that they're there. So we're just glad to be a partner with the city and appreciate their partnership.
Absolutely. Up on screen, I want to do a couple things here. Just the basic general city website, of course, greensboro-nc.gov, and then there's lots of portals you can go to get more information on some of the things we were talking about today. But also check out duke-energy.com, duke-energy.com. which will give you all sorts of information about programs and things that are available from Duke Energy. And I think to both of you, Hank, of course, thanks for the grants, thanks for helping with the community, and Jeff, thanks for all you and your team do to keep us environmentally sound, and I appreciate that.
They do a great job.
All right, we'll be right back after this.
I am so
Why
frustrated.
can no one help me?
Waiting
This is
to
a nightmare.
work. I think it's healthcare is broken.
At Blue Cross and Blue Shield of North Carolina, we get it.
Really?
Really. That's why we're making healthcare better for all. Starting with you. Yes, you, Daryl. We're making plans easier to navigate by putting your benefits, prescriptions, and details all in one place. Convinced?
No. But it's a start.
We'll take it. Blue Cross North Carolina. Making healthcare better for all. Starting with you.
The world's brightest are Fulbrights, Goldwaters, McNairs, and Spartans. Prestigious doesn't have to be expensive.
And we know you will make a difference wherever you go.
UNCG. Find your way here.
Back now on Triad Today. I am so pleased to have this lady as a first-time visitor on the show, Dr. Erin Jepson. She's a medical oncologist and hematologist for the Novant Health Cancer Institute in Forsyth. Good to see you.
You too. Thank you for having me.
My way of New Jersey. And where all did you go to college?
I went to University of Medicine Dentistry of New Jersey.
Okay.
It's essentially Rutgers Medical School.
I got you. Now, I was looking over some emails that you and Bonnie sent me and about October being Breast Cancer Awareness Month. Now, I know when I say that, people are going to say, wait a minute, last October, didn't we talk about this? Now, that brings me to the question. Why is it important to keep having conversations about this?
Well, mammogram is important for early detection of breast cancer, and women should get mammogram every year. So having a month to remember breast cancer awareness helps women remember.
Jogs the memory.
Jogs the memory. And breast cancer is very common. 1 in 8 women get breast cancer in their lifetime. So lifetime risk of about 13%. So mammogram helps detect early, helps us find small undetectable cancers, and when women find small undetectable cancers, their survival rate is very good.
Yeah, now you mentioned that they should get it every year, but let's back up just a second. Let's remind folks, at what age should a woman start?
That's a great question. So current guidelines, and there are different guidelines, but the average woman at age 40 should have and start obtaining a screening mammogram. Standard of care today is a 3D screening mammogram with tomosynthesis, which really looks at the breast closely to look for small cancers and small areas of concern. There are some women that have high risk, family history or other high risk features, whether it be genetic predisposition for breast cancer.
So if a mom had breast cancer, you don't want to wait till 40?
Well, there are specific guidelines, and I always tell women to check with their primary care physicians whether they're at increased risk, but there are family predispositions that put women at increased risk, and at that time then you can start screening earlier, but sometimes the imaging modality is different. It's not necessarily a mammogram.
What about men? Are there any men that should get screened for breast
There
cancer?
are definitely, and that would fall along the lines of increased family history or prior mammogram abnormalities or prior lumps in the breast.
You mentioned one of the actual mammogram instruments that are used, but let me ask you this. Is there a particular treatment or the way treatments have changed over the years or anything we should know about that?
So treatment or screening has definitely changed through the years. Now we do this 3D tomosynthesis, which basically is just a sophisticated mammogram that looks at the breast with x-rays and different pictures and then puts it together so you can kind of scroll through it.
Get the whole composite.
Get the whole, and as women start screening, breast density is an issue, and that just makes it difficult to see in the breast to see these abnormalities. So when you can scroll through the breast, you can actually see deeper and find small abnormalities
which is great. And then you say, okay, we found something. And
correct.
You tell the patient we found something. Have treatments changed over the years?
Treatments have definitely changed, and I think it's in a good way for all cancer, not just breast cancer, but early detection helps us find smaller cancers which are more curable, but sometimes less is done because we find them at earlier stages, less surgery, less radiation, less chemotherapy. And so women can do well with less intervention and have better quality of life.
Always better to know. I mean, I've actually heard women say, I don't want to go get a mammogram because I don't want to know.
Yeah, that's the hardest to counterbalance, right? Because they don't want to get a mammogram because they're fearful of having cancer. But if you detect cancer early, early stage breast cancer has 5-year survival rates of 99%. But if it's locally advanced or metastatic, then survival rates are not as good.
We have just a few seconds left. Who or what led you to a career in healthcare?
I've always wanted to be a doctor, but just family cancer, essentially. My grandmother had ovarian cancer and at a young age just was evolved into the healthcare field.
Bless your heart. I appreciate all you're doing. Up on screen, you can go to NovantHealth.org, which is the general website, but the Novant Health Cancer Institute for Forsyth has its own phone number, 277-8800, that you can call for appointment and information. Dr. Erin Jepson, thanks for being here. Thanks for doing everything that you're doing to help folks. And will you come back sometime?
Yes, definitely. Thank you.
We'll be right back after this. Hi, I'm Jim Longworth, reminding you that Triad Today also airs on GTN Spectrum Channel 13 and streams on WFMY Plus, free on Roku and Amazon Fire. Back now on Triad Today. Always glad we can spend a few minutes with the good folks in the Greensboro Police Department. And we have a first-time visitor from that department with us right now, Sergeant Robbie Farrell. And we welcome you to the show, sir.
Thank you.
Good to see you.
Yes, sir. Good to see you.
How long have you been with the police department?
25 years.
25. Now, what, we didn't rehearse this or anything, but what led you to a career in law enforcement? Did you have a dad, an uncle, a mom, or somebody was involved?
My brother Graham started a year before me, and he joined the police department, and I did a ride along with him and thought it was really cool. And I was like, you know what, I might want to do this.
And how much older is he than you?
He's a year younger than me.
Year younger?
Yep.
Okay. All right, well, that's great. So we have your brother to thank for you being
Oh,
here.
yes, sir.
That's cool.
And I have a sister that's in the police department as well.
Really? Mm-hmm. Now, you sent me an email and said that we want to talk about porch pirates.
Yes.
What's a porch pirate?
Porch pirates are people that steal packages off your porch.
Is this a year-round problem? I mean, here we are taping this in October. Is this a year-round problem? Is this something that gets worse closer to holidays or during the summers, or what? Help me out on that.
It gets worse around the holidays because people know that packages are being delivered more on a regular basis on the holidays.
But is it happening a lot more overall, than it used to? Because when I was growing up, I never heard about stuff like that.
Well, we didn't have Amazon when we were growing up.
No, that's true. When I was growing up, we didn't have cars.
Yeah,
no, I'm not.
Right.
I'm just kidding. But no, you're right. We didn't have Amazon. And this is primarily an Amazon problem, isn't it?
Well, it's, people that deliver packages for, wherever you're shopping. You can buy just about anything online nowadays.
Well, now let me pick up on that when you say buy anything. Let's suppose I order a big ticket item, like a TV or something.
Yes.
Something that's, you can't miss it from the street. What do I do to prevent something getting stolen before I can get home from work that day?
Well, most companies like Amazon, when you order something, they'll tell you how many stops away that they are. You can also require a signature when the package is delivered. You can have it put instructions, have the package deliver around the back or, in a garage or something like that. And that usually deters it. But if you're not going to be there, I would recommend having someone you trust, as soon as the package is delivered, to come pick the package up for you.
Like a neighbor or family member?
A neighbor, a family friend, someone you trust.
Just don't leave it there.
Yep, that's right.
Let me put you on the spot, and we didn't rehearse this either, and you may not have any numbers in your head, but basically, do you think you've had any, with the Greensboro Police Department, had any successes in catching porch pirates over the years? And while you've been there, have you seen any kind of evidence that we're catching up with some of these bad folks?
We are, especially with the cameras. A lot of the people and neighbors have cameras nowadays, so that's a big help to us, because if we can capture a car or capture someone following one of the trucks or something like that, that's a big source for us to help them catch them.
And I know you're not an attorney, so I'm putting you on the spot about this stuff, but what happens if you catch somebody and they've been stealing a lot of stuff from people? Is it a slap on the wrist? Do they get jail time usually, or what happens?
It depends on what the record is. We charge them, and then it's up to the magistrate and the judge to decide what happens to them from there.
But I guess it's a felony, though, isn't it? Depending on how much they steal.
It depends on the value of the property they steal. If it's over $1,000, then it's a felony.
Okay, all right. Now, let me circle back to your personal story there, because you're talking about your brother and sister. what kind of personal gratification do you get out of being on the job and working for the Greensboro Police Department? What do you get out of it?
I mean, it's a great career. I mean, you know, to be able to put a bad person in jail or somebody that's doing something wrong that they shouldn't do, you know, it's gratifying to see justice handled.
Yeah. And I'm guessing, I'm not going to try to read your mind here, that as far as recruiting, for anybody that's watching, good career for young people.
Oh yeah, for sure. I enjoyed it, and it's got great benefits, and it's fun. You get to drive fast, you get to go after bad people, and it's exciting. There's always something new every day.
We got some cars here you can get in and drive fast.
There you go. That's right.
Got a 72 Jag right behind us there.
Maybe you guys will donate one to the police department.
Well, no, I can't speak for that. I mean, these are like $150,000 cars, but we'll take it. Yeah, we can put it on somebody's porch, and if they take it. All right, up on screen, greensboro-nc.gov/department/police, and that's the way you can directly get to the general website, which has a lot of different portals to it. You can find out all sorts of initiatives and programs and services that you can get through the police department. To Sergeant Robbie Farrell, to Chief Thompson, everybody, I appreciate what you do for everybody, seriously.
Appreciate it. Thank you, sir.
Thanks, sir. We'll be right back after this.
I got free meals. What do you mean? No, seriously, how much did you pay us? I didn't pay anything. I learned how to cook all of these fresh foods that were delivered to my house. Everything in that grocery bag that's fresh, I had a recipe for, and I know how to cook. It encouraged us to eat better, to shop better, make better decisions.
Back now on Triad Today. I'm so excited about having this special guest with us. First-time visitor to the show. Mary Davis is Director of Health Through Food, Blue Cross North Carolina Foundation, and we're so glad you're here.
Thank you. I'm glad to be here.
By way of Chicago and now North Carolina, and we're so glad for all you're doing for the communities. Now, I just gave your title as Health Through Food, so tell me about that. What is Health Through Food all about?
Well, first of all, it's the best title, right?
Oh, sure.
Exactly. It's the best title. And what Health Through Food is, that is a new commitment that Blue Cross North Carolina has made to really leverage the power of food to prevent and manage and treat chronic illness. In North Carolina.
I'm going to interrupt you. Was that why it was needed? I mean, did you determine there's just such a need that we've got to do this thing?
Yep. Chronic illness linked to nutrition in our country is high and rising. And the same goes for North Carolina. And really, in fact, North Carolina feels that even more deeply, health outcomes in our state, we're in among all the states, we're the bottom half.
Well, now, people know that there's a lot of good work that Blue Cross Blue Shield does and the foundation. Mm-hmm. But they might wonder, well, wait a minute, Mary, why is the foundation spearheading this particular thing?
Yeah, I appreciate that question very much. And what's really exciting about this initiative, that it's not just the foundation. We are working across the enterprise to use all of the Blue Cross tools, deploying them to improve health through food in our state.
Now, is this going to do anything to actually improve health outcomes and reduce the cost? Because people, sometimes they struggle and try to go paycheck to paycheck. So is this going to reduce costs? Mm-hmm. What's going to be the impact of all this?
Yeah, spot on. That's exactly why we're doing this, to improve health outcomes for people and for families first and foremost, and to reduce healthcare spending, right? And increase the ability for our workforce to be stronger and really the prosperity of North Carolina overall. Yes.
Now, how long have you been we didn't rehearse this or anything, how long have you been with Blue Cross?
9 years.
9 years. And I'm just betting, I don't know for sure, but I'm just betting that this is not your first rodeo in doing things for people and having certain initiatives that help people, because Maya sent me an email that talked about something called Food is Medicine. What was that all about?
Yes, food is medicine. That's a key part of our health through food strategy. And that is all about is kind of an intentional connection between food and healthcare. So it's about delivering food-based interventions to people who are struggling with diet-related chronic illnesses and really embedding that into the healthcare system. I think we all know that we can't just keep doing everything the same way and expecting different outcomes.
Yeah, and we talk a lot about on this show, and I know you do this all the time when you're out speaking to groups about access to health care. And of course, that's a whole different topic. But there are people that don't necessarily have access to the right kinds of foods, right?
Oh, Absolutely.
What do you call them? Food deserts?
Food deserts, but that's true for so many people in North Carolina. We have a lot of very rural areas of this state where people, it's not easy for them to get to the grocery store, or maybe there isn't a grocery store. So that also is one of our key areas of focus, not just food as medicine, but increasing access to healthy food in communities in North Carolina.
Let me ask you a personal question, since this is the first time we met. What personal gratification do you derive from leading these kinds of efforts?
Thanks for asking. So, I think for me, it is personal because my mom struggled with diabetes her whole adult life. And I saw the impacts of that on her individually and then on us as a family. And then second of all, you said I was born in Chicago. I was born in Chicago, but I've been in North Carolina longer than I've been anywhere. And I really love this state. I love its people. I love its communities. And I've seen the power of food, right? It's helping people with their health. It's helping people with their physical health, their mental health. It's helping people feel less lonely and less isolated. And then it's supporting our local farmers, our local communities, and really the overall prosperity of our state. So I guess I've seen the ripple effects of food, so I'm just completely committed to doing this.
Oh, I'm so glad you are. I appreciate that. I want to put up on screen the general website on this. It's Blue Cross NC, of course, standing for North Carolina, the state that Mary loves. BlueCrossNC.com. I hope you will check that out. It has all sorts of portals to things that are going on and initiatives. And Mary, really, I appreciate it. I know this is your first time visit here. I hope it won't be the last. And I thanks for everything you're doing.
Thank you.
All right. We'll be right back. Hi, I'm Jim Longworth, reminding you to catch my column Longworth at Large and Yes Weekly every week. It's available throughout the Triad, or you can go online, yesweekly.com. Major funding for Triad Today comes from Blue Cross Blue Shield of North Carolina, making healthcare better for all. Back now on Triad Today, just about time for the roundtable with a quick shout out to the good folks here at the Kernersville Auto Museum. It's free to come out here on Fridays, Saturdays, and Sundays. You will love this place. A lot of history, a lot of great stuff here. You can hold your events here too. You can also watch the roundtable right here if you stay tuned. Don't turn the channel. Right on my right, but always political left, Ogie Overman. And next to Ogie is our special guest, Bob Shackelford, who used to be president of Randolph Community College, now has his own consulting business, and our buddy Keith Cranberry, founder of Helping Hands Consultants. And Keith is on the cover of this month's Black Business Inc., and we congratulate him. Let's give him a round of applause there.
I look like a supermodel, don't I?
You are a supermodel. You're super something. All right, first thing, under current state law, an assault by a student on a teacher is only reported to local law enforcement if it results in a serious injury, quote unquote serious injury. But House Bill 775 would require all assaults on teachers to be reported. Supporters say it will make teachers safer. Opponents say it will leave more students with criminal records. Good law or bad law? Ogie?
I think they ought to put a little teeth in that law. I really do, yeah. You
like it?
I do.
Bob?
With so many of the school shooters these days being students, I don't think it's any time to start minimizing the impact of assaults on teachers.
All right, because the Parkland one comes to mind recently.
Oh, yeah.
Keith, are we going to criminalize too many kids, or is it time to do this?
Well, I think that anytime you assault a teacher, that's serious, and you can't allow it to be unpunished. So that has to give people teeth. So I think it's something that needs to be done.
All right. Meanwhile, that same bill would require criminal background checks on all school employees, from teachers and principals and janitors and everybody. All employees get criminal background checks. Good idea or bad idea?
I don't think that's necessary. I mean, come on. Teachers might have had a marijuana conviction 20 years ago. I mean, come on.
All right, you don't
like that. Hard enough to get teachers anyway.
All right, Bob.
I think there ought to be criminal background checks for anybody working with children. There ought to be some common sense about how it's applied to know what's going on, but there ought to be, you ought to know the background of people working with children.
Absolutely. Keith?
I think there's certain things that should be red flags, anything that deals with abuse or assault, but I think that it shouldn't be so tough that it roots teachers out.
All right. Speaking of education, starting next year, there will be a new tax on endowment funds at private colleges and universities. Private colleges and universities. Now, some of those colleges have already started laying off staff, and industry experts say this will result in a reduction in financial aid to low-income students that want to go to those colleges. Is this tax ill-advised, or is it long overdue? Okay.
That's a terrible idea. I mean, colleges are already under stress, partly because of Trump's extorting some of them. But no, that's not necessary.
All right,
it's a dumb
Bob.
idea.
With all the scandals and loopholes that need to be reformed in the tax system, the way to fix it is not to start taxing money that's given to help poor children go to college.
Keith.
But it's a cycle. Anytime that anything happens, it always affects the poor people. Do you realize that? Anytime any bill or anything that goes wrong, they always say it affects the poor people. So we're dealing with people who are cutting folks, but I don't think the taxes should be put in that way, because I think it's going to hurt poor people, because that's who they're targeting.
All right. A number of teachers and staff at public schools and colleges have now filed lawsuits in federal court after having been fired for comments they made on social media about the late Charlie Kirk. They say their right to free speech was violated because their comments were made on personal platforms away from work. Guys, do you think these folks will win their lawsuits? And if so, should they be awarded damages or be reinstated, or both, or neither?
I hope they do. I hope they win. I mean, it's clearly a violation of free speech, and I hope they get damages.
All right. What about reinstatement?
Absolutely.
Bob?
I agree with Ogie. You can't define First Amendment rights according to which political party you're in. Nobody lost their job over making crude comments about Nancy Pelosi's husband being bashed in the head with a hammer. You don't define First Amendment by political party.
Now, some of these comments, though, I mean, even though they were on personal platforms, social platforms, were pretty bad. I mean, you know, supporting assassination and stuff like that. But I don't know. What do you think, Keith?
I think many of our leaders are saying things that are targeting other people. Many of our leaders are saying things that are rude and inconsiderate and really dangerous to other people. So they're allowed to do that because they have free speech. So you cannot tailor which free speech is limited and which is not.
All right. Earlier, we held up Black Business Inc. magazine that Keith is on the cover of. Now let's talk about another magazine. Finally, according to Food and Wine magazine, the #1 Halloween candy in America is Reese's Peanut Butter Cups. Guys, what was your favorite Halloween candy as a little boy, and has that changed? Ogie?
Did we have Reese cups back then? I don't think we did.
I don't think we had cups.
I liked, you know, I like Three Musketeers.
Okay.
And that hasn't changed. See that anymore.
Hasn't changed. Bob?
Yeah, still like them.
Peanut M&Ms, then, now, and forever.
Now forever. Keith?
Tootsie Rolls and Sweet Tarts.
Still?
Still the same thing.
All right.
Absolutely.
Three sweet guys. That's all the time we have. Oh, except for this. Last week, a crab was seen sitting alone on a first-class seat in a London train, and the conductor was asked, "Why is the crab sitting in first class?" And the conductor said he needed more leg room. Did you like that?
That's good.
That was the best one you had in a long time.
I'm Jim Longworth. We'll see you next time.